Palm Beach County, Florida has declared a state of emergency in response to the strained and overwhelmed hospital system. The number of new coronavirus patients continues to increase. The vast majority of those hospitalized, of course, are unvaccinated, and they need help, they need resources, and hospitals nearby in neighboring counties are unable to accept new patients themselves. So the Palm Beach County Commissioner, Melissa McKinley, proposed issuing the emergency after all 12 beds, and that's a problem in and of itself. All 12 beds in the intensive care unit at a local medical center became occupied, 11 of which were for patients with COVID-19. McKinley said that some ambulances have been forced to wait outside hospitals for hours with sick patients because emergency rooms are full. So real great that Florida's governor, Ron DeSantis, decided to push back against people wearing masks, tried to ban school districts from implementing mask mandates. That's who Ron DeSantis is. In the meantime, you have counties in the state of Florida declaring a state of emergency because they don't have enough hospital beds to provide care for COVID patients. Again, the majority of whom are unvaccinated. So this is a devastating disaster. It's just, especially when you consider how much more privilege we have in the United States compared to other countries. We have access to the vaccine, whereas a lot of poorer countries have no access at all. We have the resources to take care of our people, we don't do it. It's just, we have failed in the response to this pandemic in every single way from the very beginning.
Yeah, and it's truly amazing that we can get to this point where not just like that the case numbers are going up, that's bad enough, but that we can be in a similar position to where we were more than a year ago when it comes to hospitalizations. When not only there's so many more vaccinated people, but that it's disproportionately affecting those who are most at risk of dying or being severely hospitalized as a result of it. We're still in this position when it comes to the hospitals. Like, can you imagine if the original COVID that hit us was the Delta variant? Like we obviously have not been lucky in many ways, but like it is so much rougher, so much more transmissible, so much more deadly. I don't know what would have happened if that had hit us first. But the reason I think that you can see in so many of these southern states them falling into the exact same position they were in, 9 months ago, is that there were no political domestic consequences for their failures last year. Is Governor Abbott gonna lose his re-election bid? Is there like a recall DeSantis, thing going around from last year? No. Like when the pandemic wasn't that bad 2 months ago in some of these places, none of the conservatives, the unvaccinated, cared. We told them it's gonna get really bad. It is now. Do they care now?
No.
They don't even care when it's bad.
You know why they don't care, John? They don't care because they've gotten vaccinated.
Well, the political leaders. Ron DeSantis has, Governor Abbott has, surely.
Which is why, by the way, Governor Abbott not only has been vaccinated, now that he's tested positive for COVID, he had a breakthrough infection. He's being treated with Regeneron, even though his symptoms were described as non-existent. So, but that's the thing. America has two systems. One for the wealthy, the privileged, people in positions of power, and then one for everyone else. So while they very intentionally spread disinformation regarding the pandemic for political gain, the very people who voted them into these positions of power to represent them, they're the ones who suffered, they're the ones who died, they're the ones who get turned away at the hospital because they don't have enough hospital beds. And I want to just quickly touch on the fact that the hospital that was cited in the first graphic only had 12 ICU beds. Look, that is a product of capitalism, right? The reason why we have so few hospital beds to begin with is because it's not profitable to have a ton of hospital beds that just sit empty. Right? So cut costs, minimize the number of hospital beds, and guess what? That puts us in an incredibly bad situation when we deal with a pandemic like this. The county, go ahead.
In our defense, we've only had a year and a half since the first time it happened of complete hindsight that we should be able to use that we're not.
Profit motive is always gonna come before human lives in this system. It's just the truth.
Well, and again, like it's just, I don't know that there has ever been as successful an effort in anything of politics and media to get people to not care about something they desperately need to. Like it is one thing if you are trying to convince people that a crisis is coming and you fail. We care about climate change, so we've been experiencing that for years. But like if you were to go to Jurassic Park and be like, I think the dinosaurs are gonna break out, and they don't listen, okay, I get it, there's electric fences. But like this is like, the T-Rex is eating one person you're talking to, and the other is like, nah, I think it's a hoax. But that's how successful it's been.
It's been amazing.
Like, not only all these people have died, like what percentage of people in Florida know someone who's died? It has to be a significant number.
It is.
They still don't care. They have been trained not to care and certainly not to cast any blame, not on anyone who actually had any effect on it. They're mad to some extent in Florida against like Fauci. They don't like Biden. They hate the people who are asking them to take it seriously. It's serious now. They hate the people that warned them. I've never seen anything like it in my life in any area.
You know, one of the things that has proven to be effective in terms of getting people vaccinated is, let's say you're dealing with a business that will not allow unvaccinated people to come in, right? Or something, some government thing, that event, or whatever, something that requires people to be vaccinated, right? What they'll do is they'll ask, like, are you vaccinated? They say no. They'll have someone there to administer vaccines right there on the spot. And they make it incredibly easy for people to get vaccinated. And more often than not, people are like, okay. Because when you get rid of all of the barriers, and look, I don't think that there are many barriers to begin with, but fine. I guess it is a little different if you have someone right then and there who's ready and willing to administer the vaccine. We gotta try different things.
What if it's mobile?
Yeah.
But don't do that because people like Marjorie Greene have told people their patriotic duty is to pull their gun out if somebody comes in the door.
I mean, these people are dangerous. And at this point, I don't know if it's a good idea to show up at people's homes. Right? I think it's actually-
I don't know who would do that work. They'd be too scared.
I wouldn't do it, I certainly wouldn't do it, right? And for those who are engaging in that, these people are courageous given the current climate in the country. But if there are any, even if they're minor barriers in place, try to get rid of them and see if that can increase the vaccination rate. But we need to get people vaccinated, guys. It's the best line of defense against this virus, which is why you're seeing these hospitals completely overwhelmed with unvaccinated COVID patients, which, by the way, also leads to people who need to go to the hospital for other purposes getting turned away, being denied care when they need it. That's what's happening across the country, but certainly in states like Texas and Florida right now.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.